and there's a translator in there for you, and you can sell books live to the world. That's what Sotheby's and Christie's and Heritage Auction does, doesn't it? Now they're bringing it to the smaller platform of WhatNot. Watch out.
He's done 11,000 in sales the last 30 days on WhatNot. In this video, we're going to go over how to dominate selling books on WhatNot and give you 5 tips for complete beginners to start making money. Max, how much profit you make on that 11,000?
That's just about $9,000, $10,000.
Oh, just about 9,000, just about 90% margins. That's insane. With Amazon, we're operating at like a 30% margin, and you're able to operate at a 90% margin. So that's why I'm super excited.
Well, I've been telling you and other people, I've been preaching the WhatNot platform for a little while now. I haven't even been doing it a year. I have seen a rapid increase in my sales. When I first started, a year ago, I was learning it. I didn't understand it, but I've progressively gotten better at it. And now, believe it or not, Avery, I'm doing 6 shows a week now on WhatNot. Not all of them is books. I'm dealing with some collectible memorabilia as well. But I know we are in the numbers game. We like to talk numbers. I just did before our meeting today, I did a show 2 hours, and we did just over $900 in 2 hours on some autographed memorabilia. So the marketplace is alive and well. I want to definitely talk about some of the things that are untrue about WhatNot. And it is a rising and growing platform.
Heck yeah. Well, we got 5 tips to share with our audience. And tip number 5 is amazing. So be sure to stay into the very end, guys. What would you say is like the most important tip or thing for beginners to know about WhatNot?
Yeah. Well, number one, I call in my Patreon group, I call this digging ditches. Where you have to do a little bit of legwork. You have to follow people. It's not so much likes, it's getting people to follow you and your store. And so what I call digging ditches is going into other book selling auctions and seeing what people are buying, seeing what they're selling, and then following those people. The more people you follow, if you follow 100 people and 15 to 20 of those people follow you back, that's digging ditches. The more people you can get to follow you, the more people will probably come to your shows. Nice. On an average show for me on books, I had between 20 and 50 people showing up. Not all of them are bidders, though. Some of them just like watching what sells. And so there's the interactive quality of just sort of watching TV via WhatNot. But every show I do, every auction I do, I'm always getting at least 2 new buyers. So, and this has been going on for 7 months. So I'm now just about under 2,000 followers. But I do dig a lot of ditches every day. I still follow people.
Yeah. Last night on the YouTube live, you said you did one show where you made a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
What would tip number 2 be to help somebody sell a lot on
I
the show?
I love this tip, and you know what? I love this tip not just for your regular part-time sellers. I love this for full-time Amazon Gaylord buyer sellers. My Sunday show is always selling a lot of books, like a lot of 4 books, a lot of 5 books, but I'm keeping the subjects together. So when our Amazon friends are digging in Gaylords and they find 12 books on herbal remedies and they're not profitable for Amazon, and then you have that second thought like, maybe I'll just put 10 of them up on eBay. Well, what I do now, instead of wasting that time with eBay, is I'll make those 12 books 2 lots of 6. And on a Sunday show, I'll start the lots at $1. Everything starts at $1 on WhatNot. But I'm giving people great value. So the book buyers are going to be buying a lot of 6 books on herbal remedies, whether they're collectors, resellers, hoarders, or they just book lovers, but they're getting great value. So I start them at $1. Very rarely does a lot end at $1. I did a show 2 months ago where I stayed on WhatNot for 7 hours, and I sold 400 books, but all different categories, all subjects, and I did $2,200 in that 7 hours. That's and crazy. It was not, Avery, to be honest with you, it was nothing but an experiment. I might never do a 7-hour show again, but what I wanted to test myself and what I wanted to test the WhatNot audience with is, how long could I go and how much could I make in one auction?
Yeah,
Selling books.
And
So,
some people are probably like, oh, if you're selling a book or a lot of books for $1, how are you making any money?
well, they're not really selling for $1. You're starting the auction at $1. My auctions start at 15 seconds, and people bid all the way down to 0. And some of those lots of 4, 5, or 6 books will sell for $3. Some of them will sell for $33. I've sold single books on WhatNot for over $750 to $1,000. One book. So the collectors are there, the resellers are there, the book lovers are in the platform. You just have to figure out what type of books you want to sell. But I find it to be a great solution. Maybe this is tip 2.5 or 2.3, but I find it to be a great way to people get rid of their death piles.
Yeah.
People, and I know this, people drown in their death piles. It becomes a mental block for them to go forward. Exactly. But I don't call that a death pile. if that's your death pile, you are in great shape.
That's my YouTube demonstration pile.
Yeah, I'm talking about people who have a room full of books, a garage full of books that they just can't get out. And you can literally do 1 or 2 shows with your death pile and cure that problem with WhatNot if you lot your books up correctly.
Nice. We'll call that tip number 3. What would tip number 4 be?
My gosh, tip number 4. So we talked about following people. Tip number 4, and I just did a show called What to Do's on WhatNot. So tip number 4 for me would be always, if your show is at 2:00 in the afternoon, don't go in at 1:59. Go in at 1:30. Go in at 1:45. Chit chat with people. The great thing about WhatNot is you get to be interactive with your customers beyond a simple message. They can hear you speak. They can write in the chat box. You can have a conversation with them. So that's one thing we don't get on eBay. One thing we don't get on Amazon. I mean, if we mention another platform on eBay and Amazon, all hell breaks loose. But you can now, with what WhatNot is doing, you can interact with your prospective buyers. You can hold out a book. They can ask you questions about it, and now you're talking about this book that you're holding in your hands to these people who are about to bid on it. That is the game changer, and that is the future of book selling.
Yeah.
So people in our world, all the people we know, they need to begin planting their seeds in the WhatNot platform, because there were people, a lot of us say, oh, I wish I got in the eBay and Amazon at the beginning. A lot of us say that. Man, if only I was in there at the ground floor. Well, right now you have a chance to be on an innovative website in the ground floor. WhatNot's only a couple years old. It's still the first or second floor. And if you can get in now and those international walls break down and WhatNot starts doing international auctions with shipping, and you can talk to people from Japan, talk to people from Mexico, talk to people from Uruguay, talk to people from Poland, and there's a translator in there for you, and you can sell books live to the world. That's what Sotheby's and Christie's and Heritage Auction does, doesn't it? Now they're bringing it to the smaller platform of WhatNot.
Nice.
Watch out.
You guys heard it. And what would you say tip number 5 is?
Tip number 5. Let me think about this, because I know you made this one bigger than it probably is going to be.
Oh yeah, you got to make it. You got to find the best one. It's got to beat all those other 4.
All right. Tip number 5 is the most important tip of them all, which is there is this idea out there that people on WhatNot are selling junk. It's not that. You have to have good inventory, and you have to give great value. So I can tell you that on my Sunday show, I do lots of books, all the same subject, but lots of books. And I can sell 200 or 300 books in a couple hours. My Monday show is an antiquarian book show. And all I do is 10 books. And I started at $1. It used to be $5. I started at $1. And these books sell for $100, $200, $300, starting at $1.
Wow.
So you can have the great inventory. And if you've dug your ditches, if you've built up your audience, you will sell high quality antiquarian rare book room type books. A month ago, I sold a copy of Mein Kampf, Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, Easton Press edition. This is a book you can't sell on Amazon. You can't sell it on eBay. I put it on WhatNot. Started at that time $5, and I believe it sold for $815.
Wow.
So you can. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you, Avery, is you can sell $8 lots to people, but you can also sell $800 books to people on WhatNot, and that's the misconception that people make. They judge WhatNot without ever going into WhatNot and looking what's around.
Mm-hmm.
There are auctions at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's 100 auctions going on with many subjects: Funko Pops, books, paperback science fiction, jewelry, shoes. It's 24/7, 365. WhatNot doesn't sleep.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, you have a ton of knowledge on rare books too. So if you guys want to watch that video, there's a video on how to sell rare books or how to find rare books rather, with Max below. And you also have a group, and you said you have over 100 people in that group, right?
We have 120 as of this morning. It's a Patreon
Paper
group.
Gold.
Yeah, Paper Gold, an ongoing book hunters conversation. We are worldwide. We have members in Israel, Australia, England. We have, I think, the greatest book Discord there is. Our Discord is like an encyclopedia on how to make money on books. Mm-hmm. And the members, we have a scoreboard. When someone makes $100 sale, they put a picture of that book up. When they make a $500 sale, they put a picture of that book in the $500 scoreboard. We had a gentleman a month ago find the Dungeons and Dragons book for $1 from the 70s, and he sold it for over $6,000 last month on eBay.
That's wild.
On a dollar, find that in a estate sale.
That's wild.
But every day our members are going into scoreboard and posting their amazing sales. I always say the books are everywhere. I don't look at books as books. I look at books as money. And I'm teaching people how to find that money on the shelves of thrift stores, estate sales, and everywhere in between.
Yep. Paper Gold, guys. The link will be below. It's dirt cheap too to enter, so go check that out. And follow Max on his social medias. Common Ground Finds on Instagram. Where else? Is it just Instagram? Instagram,
TikTok, Paper Gold Podcast on TikTok, YouTube. We have a great YouTube channel, papergold.podcast. We're dropping information daily. I'm also doing a show on YouTube called Destination Unknown, where I visit a bookstore every week. And at the end of the interview with that bookstore owner, they send me off to a bookstore I've never been to. I don't even know where I'm going. They send me off to another one. And I just finished Destination Unknown number 14. I'll be doing 15 this week.
Heck yeah.
So we're talking books, whether it's selling, buying, or just the pleasure of the book buying experience in the bookstore.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Max, so much for coming on.
You need to come down, Avery. You owe me a dinner or two, I think.
Hey, I'll be down there. Don't worry.
All right. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon, brother. Thank you.
All right. And guys, remember, this is made possible by GoToLister, the fastest listing software on the planet. Here's some information on it.
The number one thing I love about it most is it helps me list and process my items that much faster. And as you know, if you want to grow your Amazon business, speed is the name of the game. If you're thinking about selling on Amazon, or you're already selling and you want to be able to grow your business quicker, definitely check out GoToLister. Appreciate you, Avery, for creating the software, and it's really helping me grow my business. Much love.